This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, but posting a beautiful Toronto background behind me, which I plan to make a couple of trips to this summer and fall. But folks, here we are on May the 22nd, 2025, and I got a three-time guest on with me today. And he's a guest that might not be world known, but his interviews always get plenty of views. And so I keep having him back because, we share something in common. We're both we're both 53 this year. And I don't know about him, but 25 years ago I had a hernia operation. And I got to get checked out 25 years later for the other side.
Oh man, no, God, no.
Yeah, I'm falling apart, folks. I have the director of Lycaon.
Lycon.
Lycon. My apologies.
You got me doing it. Lycaon. You've got me doing it now. Lycaon. It's Lycaon. You got me doing it, Greg. It's catchy.
There you go.
Lycaon, 5 losers on the line and lost in the night.
There you go. Well, folks, I give you Scott Hand. How you do, Scott?
I'm doing great, Greg. How you doing today?
Well, a year ago, January, I had a retina tear operation, and I got that taken care of. And now I'm gonna have my second hernia operation. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. I had somebody, a friend of mine out of Toronto, tell me that he's turning 51 this year. And he said, how much older are you, Greg, than I am? And I said, I'm going to be 53 this year. But let me tell you about 51. I hate to throw a wet blanket on your celebration, but that's where I start having health problems. Happy birthday. Holy cow. Oh my, but none, nevertheless.
The joys of getting older. The joys of getting older, you know.
I mean, you know what? I'll never forget my dad. My dad passed away in 2022 after 8 years of ALS. And I'll never forget this because Dad, I learned a lot about the Christian faith just from watching my dad.
Yeah.
Because Dad would get up at 3 a.m. on a winter day or winter morning and snowplow people out of their driveways, and he wouldn't ask for a cent for it. My dad was a true man of God to me, but I will never forget it. He hated the whole ALS thing because that just broke you down and broke you down and broke you down, and he was not liking it. But I remember there was one day, because he could not speak well because of the disease, but he was trying to get a message to the nurse at the house. And I kind of observed this. And it turned out he was trying to get the nurse to take the Kleenex box off the Bible. And I was like, he kept his faith right up to the end.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw him the morning before he passed, and I was like, you're not going to feel any pain soon. You're going to be free of this. And you're going to be with the all-powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. The one and only Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I remember I try to keep that in mind because, well, I'm falling apart.
And we're getting older.
We're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting older.
Yeah, it's hard to
believe.
believe.
Rodney Dangerfield once said he's so old. He's so old he's envious of a stiff wind.
I know, right?
He said he was so old he once went on a walk and 2 guys ran after him with shovels.
Yeah. Oh, he had some good ones, man. He was a great comedian. Oh, so did I. He was so funny. Yeah. Yep. And the thing is, his real name was Jacob Cohen. You know that,
mm-hmm.
right? That was his real
Yep.
name. The whole Rodney and Dangerfield. That was just his stage name. You
Well,
know.
just like Python is mine, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I don't have one. I'm just Scott Hand. That's it. That's my stage name. That's my personal name. That's my professional name.
so Scott Hand's not a stage name. Your not real name isn't Scott Foot.
No, it's not. That was always a family joke. That was always a family joke. We're the hand, but we were originally the arm.
Well, you
we
know
were
what? I had a an actress on here. Her name was Hannah Barefoot.
Oh God.
And boy, she was gorgeous, but I gave
Uh-huh.
her a hard time over her last name, you know. But nonetheless, those are fine names, you know. At least it's not something like Bend Over.
Yeah, right.
Or,
Well, there's quite a few of those out there. That's just one name you're giving. I
oh
grew up in
yeah.
the same time frame as you. So I remember
Mhm.
all those.
Oh
You ever have the
yeah.
kids? You remember when you're in grade school, you have an obnoxious friend, and it's like a free time or whatever, and they write it all down. Say, hey, get up in front of class, say this, just say this, say this, just say it real fast, bend over, But you ask them, say, does anybody know bend over? Does anybody know a certain Mike? You
Hmm.
know where I'm going with that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Hunt. That was another one. That was
Mike
another.
Hunt. My my nephew is now over 30 years old, but I remember when he was really, really young. My younger brother, who was it's not his father, but my younger brother had said the Mike Hunt name, and my nephew said it. And we started laughing, and my nephew was like calling upstairs to the adults, go, why am I not allowed to say Mike Hunt?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a funny story on that. So, summer 2007, I hadn't heard this in I don't know how long at the time. So, I'm
Hmm.
over at one of the motels here. They have those takeout windows. So, I went there and I got more coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. So, got some coffee. And these two kids are there waiting for their hot dogs or whatever because the beach is right there. And as
Hmm.
I'm getting the coffee, I'm putting it together, and all they got in their hot dogs, the one kid happens to say the other, why do you keep wanting me to say Mike Hunt? I almost spit my coffee all over the place. And I had not heard that. I swear, probably 20 years at that. It had been a long time. I don't even think I heard that when I was 15. I think all that was when I was 10, 11, and 12 years old. The very innocent years when you really don't know what the hell it means, you know?
You ever hear
Yeah.
Sal and Richard on the Howard Stern show do those prank calls? And they'll send in for these people that read off these things, and they will read off these obnoxious names. Like we have this letter from Hugh Gunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can they? The one of them they read off was curly pubes. And I'm like, I can't believe I got by.
Yeah, right.
Like, seriously, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I know, man.
yeah, it was friggin' hilarious. But anyway, I thought it was fun last year when I had you on. You were supposed to
Yeah.
be on with another person. You talk about-
Mister 2 hours late, Kevin Shelley. That man, I'm telling you, if he was in control of his own death, he'd be late for his own funeral. The fact
You
that
know what? I had him and his beautiful wife both on
Lisa,
here
yeah, an
afterwards, and
hour after May or something, right? They came on an hour after our 2 hour interview.
yeah, but I had them on, and you know what? It was all fine, and
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I had a good
They're good.
time with them.
They're good people. They are. They're
Yeah,
good people. They're very good to work with. Kevin's very creative, which, as a filmmaker and a director, when you're working on micro budgets, that's always nice to have somebody else who's creative. Sometimes you have to hold those people back, a little bit. But other times, if you can do it, I always, because Kevin, I didn't know before we did Lycaon, not Lycon, Lycaon. Okay. And when he came along, he was supposed to be in the film. There had been talk about him coming on to that role of Rudy. and he didn't. I don't know. Whatever happened, I was told no, he's not interested. So we had somebody else come in. It was awful, absolutely terrible. I mean, it's a terrible thing when you have somebody who just doesn't have their heart into it, because you lose a whole day of shooting, and it's a pain in the ass. All right. So I had to put the thing. I mean, luckily, micro budget, you shoot when you can with people, so you're not on that schedule of when you have a, two, three, 400, $500,000 budget, or God forbid millions. And whatever happened, I don't know if it was, and it was never clear on he wasn't available or he didn't want to do it. I was never clear because I wasn't the one having the conversation. All of a sudden, I get the call. He says he'll do the movie, but he wants to meet you. And I said, that's fine. That's fair. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to just jump in without knowing. But when he showed up on a shooting day with his wife and his kids and Carl. And it was this entourage of people coming in. And I was in the middle. I was rehearsing. I was actually, in a rehearsal. And Andrew was out setting up a shot. It was like close-ups for the memorial scene. And I was like, I literally did not, I couldn't, first of all, we brought a lot of people. And second of all, I couldn't break off like this. I had to go out, tell them who I was, and say, hello, everybody. Yes, I'm the director. Hi. I told him it's a werewolf movie. Your character is a total dick in this movie. Everybody's laughing when I say that, his wife too. And I said, so you're really a nasty guy. There's a bit of cussing in this. Oh, I can handle that fucking shit. That's basically what he said. And of course, his kids are right there, and Lisa's looking at him like, please don't say that right now. Wait till you're alone. Don't curse in front of the kids. So then we put it together. I remember the first day we shot with him wasn't a lot. And it was great because I didn't have to waste a lot of time. When you can get an actor or actress, because I had that with Stephanie Coffey, where you always know when they got some questions about their character, like if they say, well, why is he like this? Like, is there anything like, is this just a dick? I said, well, think of it this way, Kevin, this guy doesn't have anything. He's a loser, he's in this relationship, and I know who I can base him off of. I know 6 people that are in that situation. I said, great, let's give it a shot. We gave it a shot, got it in really 2 takes, but I always do 3 to be safe. Okay. And I thought, great. I mean, I didn't have much else for him that night. So I said to Andrew, I think I'm going to add a little bit more to his character. I want to see what this guy can do, because we both agreed he was good. I mean, he got it fast. You know what I mean? He got it fast. So we brought him back. I had the scene with him and Lorena, the kill scene there. And that was still a little too quick. We had to go back after the first edit and keep adding to that too. And then we added the therapy scene, which actually ended up being great. That really, I mean, we used that as the introduction scene. Originally I didn't have that in there, but as we were shooting and there was these gaps in between, like a couple of weeks here, a couple of weeks there, I was looking at what we had and I figured, okay, let's structure it like this. This is what you do when you're writer, producer, director. Your mind never stops. So it's kind of like when you're making these movies and you're filling all 3 walls, and plus you're co-starring, which is something I'm never going to do again. That was really hard. Okay. Because then you're not in front, you're not even, and you got to keep jumping, back and forth behind the camera. And then you got to hold everything up and say, I got to see a replay. Shit, I don't like the way this looks. It doesn't look right. Well, what's right? Is it the lighting? No, I don't like the way that he's saying this. I'm always saying we got to do this again. Now you're going into take 4. When we're going to take 4, I'm not usually a very happy fellow. I don't yell at people, but I'm not happy when I have to go to take 4, or especially, God forbid, take 5. All right, because at that point, I really feel that we're just wasting time. We're not really we're just wasting time. I think at that point, it's time to break, grab a cup of coffee, go for lunch or something, come back, have a nice rehearsal, and then do it. But sometimes you don't have that time, so you really have to, you got to really think on your feet. It's tough. I mean, that was my first feature, and Andrew and I just had this discussion about Lycaon. We said, if we ever do another feature, we're never going to do it like Lycaon again. We're never going to do it like that again. It's got to be something where we don't want to ever get a situation where we have somebody and we're finding out they can't act when we have to be there to shoot, But Kevin was great. Let's get back to him. He was great. Anytime I called him, he was forever late. He was never on time.
You want
Never
me to
on
tell you
time.
something though? Kevin, he didn't hold back on that. He admitted
Oh
that
yeah,
he was late. He'll admit his faults, and
yes,
I
he does.
really like that about him. You know,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
he's like I said, he's a decent guy. We did Lycaon together. We finished the picture. He dropped off the face of the earth. I don't know what he was doing. And then all of a sudden I got in touch. I used to have to get in contact with him through his wife. And I said, look, we're gonna do a screening. I want you guys to come here at the private theater. They came, they saw he loved it. He really liked the
Was
picture.
he late?
No, because you want to know why? I'm gonna tell you
Why?
why he wasn't late. The screening was at 8. But you know what I told him? Screening's at
Mm.
6:30. I said, please don't be too late. I said 6:30 is the screening. Now 6:30, I had a spread here, finger sandwiches, soda, some wine if some people wanted that. It was my way of thanking everybody. Have a little party here, and then go into the theater and take a look at the picture. So they were here at 7:07, which for
Did you
him that's
guys
not.
place bets?
We were. We didn't actually put
We're gonna
money.
raise money for Black Tent.
I know.
How?
Well, yeah, we would have all lost though because he was late, but he wasn't. Not even an hour. It was 37 minutes because I timed him. I put my phone and I put the timer on it from 6:30. I hit the clock, and 7:07 they were walking in the doors. So 37 minutes, but it was fine because the movie didn't start till 8. So I still gave them enough time to get a sandwich, talk to people, and then of course I just let it go to about 8:15. And I said, okay, come on, let's go. Time to go in there
How
and
did the
take a look.
screening go?
I had to have 2 of them because I can't, mine's a private little theater. It's a home theater. I'm going to get 10 in there. So I did 2 of them. The first screening was the wrong print. Andrew sent me the wrong print. It was a work print, a very early work print. So it was awful. The next couple days later, when I had Kevin and them, it was that, not the final cut, but it was close. So that one, I was happier with that. And that had more people. I had to actually bring a couple of chairs in for that one. It went well. But then in October, we made the decision, Andrew and I, to forge ahead, and because he wanted to do a comedy. He said, when are we going to do a comedy? He says, I would love to do that comedy. Like now, I'd like to do it. I said, okay. So I had the losers, and I said, let's just do this one. It's only 20 pages. And then I wanted Kevin Ebner. I originally had Kevin Ebner for the lead in there, but Kevin was getting married at the time. And, when you're getting married, you've got all the plans and the families and all. And he said, Scott, he said, you got to do, I can only do it on 1 or 2 circumstances. You delay this a few months or you reduce me. And I thought, shit, I'm losing my guy. This is who I'm thinking. Then it hit me. As soon as I'm literally sitting there like I am right here, right in this place, right here at my desk. And I'm thinking, I put the phone down. I said, what am I going to do? And it hit me right away. I said, Shelly. So I called Andrew and I said, hey, how'd you feel if we just give Kevin Shelley the lead in this? Oh, yeah, well, that'd be great. Yeah, he likes to be funny. Yeah, let's do it. So I call Lisa, no answer, texted her. She gets right back to me on a text. Yeah, let me tell him. All of a sudden, I get this call from Kevin. Man's been missing for months. And now all of a sudden he's out of the jungle, Yeah, what do you got? It's a comedy. Do I get killed in this? No, you don't. You're the star. You're not getting killed in it. I said, but you're stressed out the whole time. You're majorly stressed. You're the front desk manager. These people are idiots. They're
Yeah,
painting the
they majorly
blinds.
stressed like you are waiting for him.
Right, exactly, right. Well, we knew this though. For losers, it was different because what I did was I said to Andrew, first of all, first day, right? First day we're waiting for him. How late do you think he is the first day? How late do you think he was?
A minute.
10 minutes. We were shocked. 10 minutes late, and
Wow.
here he is in the white truck pulling up. I looked at it, I said, Andrew says, that can't be him. He said, he's only 10 minutes late. I said, man, that's somebody else. Here he comes, walking right on in. Okay, let's talk. What's it about? Let's hear it. So I took the script. We sat down. Andrew's getting impatient. He wants to start getting shots. Andrew, go get a soda. I said, we can't do this. Go get a soda. Go get a water. Do something. Make yourself busy. I got to go. Well, we're going over stuff. Andrew comes back. I already had a couple of sodas. Okay, let's do one. All right, let's do one. So we get Kevin in front. We did one. Not bad. Not bad. Do another one. little better. Third one, Rarity. I said, you know what? I said, let's do a take 4. I said, I'm going to do a take 4. He said, you're going to do a take 4? I'm going to do a take 4, but I'm going to tell you, I got an idea. Andrew, take a break. Go have another soda. So I sit down with him. I'm telling him about how I think about what he could do and all. Andrew doesn't want to take the soda because he wants to hear. So he said, I could change the shot up a little bit too. How about if I do it this angle instead? I said, yeah, let's try it. So we did take 4, loved it, said, fine, onward. Kevin says to me, this is a motel. You know, I'm stressed out. This place should have people. He says, didn't you have a scene like people around the pool? The pool's still open. It's beautiful. Weather's still October and it's still like 80 out here. I said, yeah, but when we got to do extras and all, oh, I can get them. I said, you can? Andrew's looking at me like, I said, when can you get them? He says, when do you need them? Andrew and I looked at each other. We're thinking, bullshit. So we were like, today. Can you get them today? He says, I think I can. We're looking at each other. You go ahead. If you can get about 5 or 6 people or more today, I'll put these pages back in the script and shoot the pool scene. Son of a bitch. We took our lunch break. Guess what? Everybody's showing up. Andrew's looking at me like this. He's saying to me, he's like, how do you get all these people? I looked, I said, don't question it. Just shut up. Let's film it. Who cares? Let's just get the shots. So we're meeting all these nice people. We're all great people, too. Gary, Marion, Malik, Wendy Carter. Oh, Wendy was a doll. She really was. She was a doll. The kids, as kids, they were great, great with direction. We came up with the idea, the kids pissing in the pool. We had a great idea for that. And I said, don't have any effects. He goes, you don't need it. We got water bottles, and I said, yeah, you're right. We do have water bottles. Got a few of them here. So trick shoot it, shoot some scenes there, get some nice dialogue here. Put this, it was funny as hell getting his daughter to say, you guys are disgusting. I'm going to go tell mommy, and she says it in that real obnoxious little girl way, where you just want to strangle her. She doesn't say that way. So we shot for 3 good days. It was 3-day main shoot. Luke Demuse was phenomenal. He was great, man. I mean, I knew Luke. I had known, that's somebody you should interview. Oh, he's a character, man. Get him in on here. Oh, I'll tell you, if you can find him and you can get him on your show, you're going to have a ball with him. All right. And he's not late. He'll be early. If he commits to something, Luke is never late. He's always a few minutes
What's his
early.
name?
Luke Demuse, Demuse. He's under Luke Anthony. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. I think Luke, Instagram is like Skywalker Luke or Skyfooter Luke or something. This guy is just comedy from the moment he wakes up till he goes to bed. So I figured I'll give him the part of Uli. I said, Southern accent. Oh my God, I'll tell you. Yeah, he came up with some cool stuff. Like originally, it's him complaining we were just going to do flashbacks, and then Luke says to me, he says, "What if he's hallucinating? What if he's so stressed out he's hallucinating and he hears my voice in his head and he looks over and here I am looking at him saying, you ought to paint these here blinds, you got to get them a certain way there." And Kevin ran with that. He ran. He's like, yeah, let's try it. It was a great idea. It was better than just flipping with flash. So then we played on that. And then we came up with the whole idea with the brownie and the LCD brownie or, the LSD brownie, and here he took Luke's, Uli's brownie by accident. It was his brownie. He eats it. So now he's tripping, he's got this crazy trip going on where the clock's spinning all over the place. And, he's seeing himself in all these multicolors and all. And we had a lot of fun with that. I mean, it was the editing on that movie. Of the 3 movies, it's Andrew and I just were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. The 3 pictures we did was our favorite to shoot. That was our favorite. There was no trouble. Nobody had any problems. Everybody got along. Everybody did what they were told to do. Everybody understood. Everybody listened. It was fun. It was, it's so fun. I used to get pissed off because I'd show friends of mine be behind the scenes pictures of like Lycaon and well, so, it looks like fun. And I'm thinking, fun? Come to the set. It's not fun. It's work. But on Five Losers, I'm going to tell you up front, it was, I mean, maybe it was just because everybody was so enthusiastic. I mean, everybody that he got, the people that we had, everybody. It was just, I never saw, I mean, it was really wonderful to have so many people you didn't know come together like this, be so happy to be in the picture and listen to everything you say and say, you just tell me if I'm doing it wrong, Scott. I'll do it again. I promise. I'll listen to you. If I'm wrong, if I have to leave, tell me. But they all got it. Everybody got it. Lisa got her part. Total opposite of what Lisa is. She's playing this ditzball character. Lisa Chelly, there's nothing ditzball about Lisa. There's nothing ditzball about Lisa.
Yeah, she's
She's an
beautiful.
A to Z woman. She's got everything in order. She's the order in that marriage, I believe. So it's like, and she's great. I mean, she's another one. I had her. She was a last minute. We had started to shoot when we started shoot Lycaon. We figured we'll start in order, do the pre-credit sequence 3 nights. Problem I had, 2 of the actors, an actor and an actress. So we could, again, how do these people know this? They don't know it more than you do. They've never done it. We can shoot it in 2 nights. No, you can't. You got lights. I got to move. We got to do takes. It's not real life. It's not us doing this interview, where we're just doing it like this. You've got to get in character. You've got to stay in character. We can do that. We can do that all in about 2 minutes. Were they good? That's going to be, it should be your next question. Yes, they were both excellent. However, we finished with him. We did not finish with Christina, and we needed her a third night. And the other girl too, I forget her name. We needed them for one more night. Guess what? Couldn't do it. They wouldn't come back for the third night. Andrew was pissed. I was pissed too. We were really mad at those two because we're like, one damn night. We even measured it to the moment. I figured if they're good and they can get their stuff, we can get this done in 4.5 hours. I just need 4.5 hours. They wouldn't give us 1 minute. So that was a real shit moment because now we got to reshoot what we did. We got to get 3 new people. We got to start over, same location. I got to go and deal with my cousin again, who was already getting pissed because he felt we were there too long as it was, which he was right. We were. All right. But now this is another setback. It was all setbacks when that light came. It was all setbacks. So Shelly, Kevin, he's there one day, and Andrew's stressing, and I am too. And he goes, "What's the matter? What's up, guys? What's going on? Got to reshoot the titles, the pre-credit." Why? Why do you have to reshoot? It doesn't work. Explain the situation. He goes, "Okay, what do you guys need?" We said, "Well, it doesn't. You can't be in it," because he said, "No, I'm not asking that. What do you need? I know people. What are you looking for? I can cast this scene for you." I said, "Okay, this is what I need." So I went through it. He said, "All right, give me a couple of days." Then one of the actresses had known Jimmy. I forget his last name. Shaw, I think it was. She said, "I know somebody that wants to do it if you want to talk to him." I only got the guy. I don't have the girls. I don't know anyone. Had a talk with Jimmy. Jimmy came, nice guy. Really super nice guy. And I said, "Jimmy, this is what I need you to do. Can you do it?" He said, "I can do it, Scott. You want me to give you a demo?" I said, "Please." So he goes in my dining room. He's giving me this demo. I watch him. And I said, "Okay. All right." I mean, we don't have time. We're out of time. So we get out there, and Kevin says, "My wife's going to take the one part," and the other girl he got to, Crystal. They came out, and Jimmy was really, really, really good. He was very good. He was a natural. He was somebody. Lisa, very easy to work with. Very, very, very like Kevin. Listens, pays attention. Just tell me what you need me to do. Lisa, you got to look more scared. Okay, I'll do it. How's this? And she did a couple of things. She did a little cry and all. And I said, okay. I said, let's do it. So we got the 3 nights with them. Kevin cast the 2 parts. Candace got Jimmy, and we got the scene done. And I did have the cuts for the with the other 3, and it was uneven because Giuseppe and Christina were very good. The other girl, it was really being lost. I feel that looking at the 2 of them, having 3 of them that were decent saved the whole opening. Okay. I think had we continued with, I can't remember the other girl's name. I haven't talked to her in years. If we continued with her, as good as Giuseppe and Christina were, I think we would have lost it. I think her acting, sadly, was not there. I really do think so. So I think in the end, it was a blessing that the two of them couldn't finish it, and we had to redo it with Jimmy, Lisa, and Crystal. Crystal
Mm-hmm.
was definitely better. All right. But the movie Lycaon was tough. It was a very, very, very tough shoot. We had to do me and werewolf makeup 3 times. The first guy wouldn't give us a demo. And then we went on set. He throws it on. We looked at it after we shot. I didn't like it. Andrew didn't like it. Nobody really liked it. Went back a second time just with me with different makeup. Worked out better, but the shots didn't line up. When the shots didn't line up, that's when your friend Tommy Graff came along. Tommy Graff. I think you've interviewed Tommy. He's a great guy.
I've had Tommy Graff on. I've
Yeah.
interviewed Scott Helmsruss, who you had on Black Tent as well.
Who did you interview? Who?
Scott Helmsruss.
Scott Helmstress. Who's he? I don't think I know.
Plays
Oh,
the
Icon. Icon.
Yeah, yeah,
Scott Icon. Oh, yeah. He's a good guy. I only know him as Icon. That's why. But
yeah.
what I was starting to tell you though about what was I starting to tell you before that? I lost my train of thought.
Tommy Graff.
Yes. So Tommy came along. Tommy came in. We screened the print for him, and he said, "I can do it." Tommy. I'm going to tell you, Tommy is really something, man. He is really something. He knows makeup. He knows lighting. He knows cameras. He knows camera lenses. I met him before I did Lycaon, but I wasn't familiar with his stuff. So, what do you know? And after we did Lycaon and The Loser, he kept saying to me, "I'm going to do my movie. I want you in my movie. I want to have you in my. I got a part for you in my movie." So he calls me up last year and he says, "Listen, I got last summer." And he says, "I'm shooting my movie, Segments of Jonah. And I got this part. You're a bad guy in this. You're evil. You're mean. You're wife beater. You're abusive. You're a murderer. You're all these things that And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "What's my character's name?" And you don't have a name. You don't have a name. I'm just a stranger, basically. So anyhow, he came on to Lycaon, did a super job with the makeup. I mean, if you looked at the other two, what he did, and he filmed the metamorphosis with his camera. He said, "I'll film the metamorphosis. I'll cut the metamorphosis for you. I'll give it to you, Andrew, to do the editing, but I'll do the scene this way. You don't have to be overwhelmed," because he knows CGI. He knows computer graphics. He knows a lot. And when I went to his set on the Segments of Jonah, you ready for this one, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
So we go this one night. It's in December. It's like 30. It's like 20 degrees out there with like 40-mile-per-hour winds. And I'm there with Steve Silver, Ivy Dominique, Jackie Alberico, Leroy Hickman, and Tommy's Wolf Dogs and his new dog Sayla, who's a lover and a half. We're sitting in there, and every time we went out, you know how many people were behind the camera? Just Tommy. That's it. Nobody else behind the camera. He always a lot of breaks because he's got to adjust the lights himself, make sure it looks right, get you out there, stages you a bit. Okay, it's cold. I know. Just give me 10. Give me 10. We're freezing. I'm almost there. I just got to see this. Okay, take a break, but be prepared to freeze when you come back out. Ivy comes in like an icicle. She's walking in like this. All right. Her husband, Steve, and I go out with Leroy, and we do whatever I'm supposed to be in suspended animation or whatever. And he shoots this part, then the girls have to come out, and, they're freezing. And I'm here I am laying there, and I'm starting to get cold. And I'm looking at the two of them. And then he's there calling action, and they're like, getting ready to say their lines. As soon as he says, "Cut," oh, they're cold. They got to get back inside. I felt the same. And even Steve Silver, a few times, he's like, "I got to do it again. It messed up. I got to do it." And I could hear Steve above me saying, "Come on, Tommy, it's getting cold. Come on, man." You could his fingertips were freezing. I mean, that's the thing when you're doing this stuff like this. If you don't have the weather on your side, Greg, I'm telling you, you don't realize what a bitch it is, man. And that's the problem we have with Lycaon. That in November. All the mild Novembers, that November freezing cold, December freezing. All those outdoor scenes. It's like you had to put thermal underwear on, you had to put a shirt on, then another shirt on, whatever your costume's going to be, and a parka, and hopefully, in the scene, here's another thing. If you're starting with that parka and we can't finish that till April and it's hot, you got to wear that parka. So you got to sweat your ass off. So that's the other thing. Like with Tommy, when I started that scene, I had a windbreaker on. That night, the December night, when I told you it's 20 degrees, I had to wear the windbreaker. How cold it was. I had a thermal undershirt on, and it's, again, well, I had a coat. I had a real thermal. That's right. I had the gray one. So because you couldn't see it in the shirt, but we had to cut the neck because originally it was a crew. So he had to take it and cut the neck so that you couldn't see it because he was fooling around with my shirt, like making sure the camera didn't show it, But he's real. I'll tell you up front, if we ever get the black tent going, which I have side. I sent the deck out to, I can't tell you how many people. One guy's interested. He keeps calling back on it, so we'll see. But Tommy will be the editor of that film. We've already locked up that deal. So it'll be interesting because I'll be having a different editor. But I already know what it's going to be like because I've already been working with Tommy. So.
Well, you got Ivy's, of course, in Black Tent. You got Alexis Bacca.
Yeah.
Yep. Talk about her.
I haven't heard from her lately. I know she's real busy. She's, she basically goes movie to movie to movie to movie to movie. I think she puts out like 50 a year now or something like that, all independent. Really nice girl. She was recommended to me by a fella that is also in development hell. He's trying to make this comedy for like $10 million or $6 million or something. I can't remember the budget. And he recommended her to me. And he said, she wants to talk to you. I said, she wants to talk to me? He said, yeah. I said, I don't know how she heard about it. He said, from me. I told her. Oh, okay. Here's her number. Call her. I called her. We had the conversation. We did the Zoom like this. We went through the script. I love it. I love it. I want to do it. I like you. I'd like to work with you. And like I said, we check in from time. I haven't heard from her in a few months. I don't know. I guess life's very busy right now. I mean, who knows? I mean, for all we know, maybe she's getting married. I have no idea. I don't know her personal life. So, I mean, that's the thing. When you don't know people's personal life, they could be getting married. They could be, things change at the drop of a hat with people, when you're out of touch for a couple months. One fella, the Candace, the actress that I was telling you about from Lycaon, this old guy we knew, he died. And I told her, I said, this guy Rod died. She said, oh, Mary must be devastated. I said, who's Mary? His girlfriend. I said, she dumped him 3 years ago. She said, oh, well, I haven't seen them in 4 years. I'm like, well, there you go. See, that's what I'm trying to explain. So, yeah, I haven't worked with her. I've heard a lot about her. I do know people that did. She's definitely comes highly recommended. Very professional. There's going to probably be, I think, some adjustments because I'm working with a film sales agent right now. So I think there's going to be some adjustments to that cast. She won't be one of them, but I think some of the others may be replaced in like either smaller roles and all. Because one of the things that the sales agent has been telling me, as well as the guy that's going to hopefully produce the film, it's a seasoned film producer, is you're going to have to get 3 names in there. And he said, who would you like to work with? I said, well, what kind of budget are we talking about? I mean, he said, well, you can make deals with people. I can make deals once I'm on the project. Who do you want to work with? So I thought about it and I threw 3 names out there. And he said, I think I can get them. He said, I think I could probably get them for this picture. I said, in these roles? And he said, yeah. So I think, like I said, there's going to be some changes. It's not that they're not going to be in the film; they will be, but they may not.
Do I
And
dare
that's
ask who the names are?
Well, I don't want to say because we don't have a deal going yet.
Oh, okay.
Until I have money, I don't. I mean, hey, if no money comes through, what? Then why bother to talk about it? But I think I don't think it's a surprise to say it would be the main lead of the lady. the female lead, because that's the mysterious person. That is the one that is a meaty role for a talented actress. And I did, like I said, there was two. I wrote the actress for. I had an actress in mind, and I think I've told everybody that's Anna Falke. Delamorte Delamar. When I was writing that first draft, that's who I saw. Because she's kind of got an older, sensual way about her. But if you watch Delamorte Delamar, now she's a kid when she did that. That's 33 years ago, I think. Now she's older. She's our age. She's 53. Okay. But she's got that dark quality. And I could see like scenes where if I had her come in, you could do things, because she's kind of got like on Profile Story, she's got an evil look to her. And I figured you could play it up on that. So, but I think her English is poor. So I don't think it's, and in today's world to go and dub somebody is not the way to go, they say. So I really would like to have Sophia Milos in it. I think she would be super,
Who?
Sophia Milos, from The
Okay.
Sopranos,
Okay.
You look her up on there, or S-O, but it's S-O-F, not S-O-P-H. All right.
Not
And
SOB.
no, it's S-O-F. But yeah, so I think, if that's the case, and the right development funder comes along, I think that was probably, that role there is going to be the one, and that doesn't mean, the lesser known actress I had is out of the film. That doesn't mean it at all. It's a carnival film. There's parts laced along there where they could still be in the movie, just not as great of a role. That's all. So there's no reason to get rid of good people, and I don't want to do that. And but another thing is too, that one of the things that I didn't know 3 years ago that I know now is you have to have 3 good names to get your film sold. That's the reason why so many of these independent films fail. You've got to have these things. You have to have some named you have to have a named actor and actress. You've got to have it. And the one person that I will forever fight for is Kevin Ebner, because that part of Alex is very much him. He's got a real handle on it. He wants the part desperately. He does not want to give that part up. And he said to me over and over, he says, they're going to try to push me out to put a name in there. And I said, no. I said, they're not going to push you out. I said, they're going to push somebody else out. I said, because I have an idea for another role that's a main role that we could still put somebody in. That person is going to, I believe, be Gaten Matarazzo, who I've already met and spoke to. Stranger Things.
I don't watch the show, no.
Yeah, he's in that. And I met him in person. We had a conversation. He was interested. Nice kid, really nice kid. And I would like to work with him. And he feels the same way. Dad's, I think, is his agent. So you got to, make it work there. But like I said, I mean, everything is in development. We're not out of development, man. I've got that one and another picture that Nick Nichols keeps calling me about, a vampire movie. It's a remake that we want to do of a very old movie. And I said, Nick, do we have a deal? I mean, we got a business plan. We've got a deck. He goes, yeah, but they're not asking for the business plan. I said, well, they don't have any money. I said, if they're not asking for the business plan, they don't have any money. No money, no show. It's an interesting thing.
Do you get to do any conventions over the last year?
No, I have not.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been able to. I have not been. It's like every time a convention, because I have a job. I have to work, obviously.
I have 2 jobs.
I got one. Actually, I have 2, because I got my mom as well. That I have to. She's getting up there. She's doing very well, but I got to be around. So, yeah, I mean, the convention thing's fun. It's fun when you can do it. When you can't do it, you can't do it. That's all there is to it, man. You can't be, I'm not at a point where I can just be running around the cons, so yeah, I mean, most of the time, I'm planted here in New Jersey. I kind of like that. I don't really, I'm getting older. I don't know. Maybe it's because we did so much traveling in my youth, that I'm just not fond of it anymore. I've been in so many countries, I couldn't tell you, through the years, and never went to Canada. Okay, but it's one of the few,
I
and I
went to
never
the
met.
States for the first time a year ago, April. I went to the Chiller Convention in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're out in New Jersey, 3 hours from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, three
So,
hours.
yeah, I had fun at that. My only gripes was immigration took like 2 hours for me to get through that. And then uh, waiting in the airport for 3 or 4 hours. That's never fun. And then not know where in the event was, cabbing it to the hotel cost me like $84. And I'm like, yeah, that's an American money, not us Canadian stuff. So but I had fun at the con. I met, I'd say, a good 20 people at least.
Yeah, you do. When I would go to the New Jersey Horror Con, there was always people that were once they find you're an independent filmmaker, they want to talk to you. I met Biling, and that's I met.
Oh my goodness. But oh boy, I met her there.
Everyone.
Okay, here's my story about her. She wasn't on my list to meet,
No, she wasn't
but
on mine either.
nope. But here's the story. I I was rooming with Charles Rosenay, who's an author I've had on here, and he and I split a room. I was there with Lisa Langlois, and he helped Tara Buckman get set up.
Okay, I know her.
Well, Tara Buckman was right next to Biling. Now, I was talking to it's a kitty cat.
I knew it was coming, the cameo, because we've
I,
been on for a
yeah,
while, and
my,
I'm ignoring her. So
yeah, mine's over on a box asleep. But look at the kitty. I love
it's
cats,
precious. That's her.
but
That is her.
I
She's
love
like, yeah,
it.
she wants her tail in there, her famous tail.
Oh, I love it. But I'm going, well, I remember when I interviewed Little Nell from the Rocky Horror Picture Show the second time, I had her on Zoom and her cat was wandering back and forth.
Well,
When
it's
I
funny.
was, yeah.
Last night we were watching A View to a Kill, James Bond movie with
Mhm.
Roger Moore, and I don't know if you know, there's a cat in that movie. That cat is in a lot of scenes, and I noticed there's even scenes where Tanya Roberts is there with this cat petting this cat, and this cat is in like every scene she's in practically. I kind of wanted to look up today to see if that was actually her cat because I know she was a big animal lover. So she probably said, "I'll do the movie as long as my cat can be in it." You
Well, in
know.
Blade Runner, Joanna Cassidy's handling a snake, and that's her snake.
I know. I did hear
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yep, that's her snake. No, what I was gonna say about Biling, I was meeting uh uh Tara Buckman, and I was getting a picture taken with her, and you got Biling to take it. And we got a picture taken. All I kept thinking was, Biling, her hair was pitch black.
Yeah.
Her makeup was done precise. She had a red bubble jacket on, bright red, and she had this outfit on that it had what looked like anime on it, like it was like white with black, little bits of black on the characters and some orange, reds, and yellows. And she just was dressed all flashy. And I I remember, I think it was the following day when the Saturday when because I was there the whole weekend, and I was like, you know what? Fuck, I gotta go meet this woman. I gotta get my picture taken with this woman. I mean, she just stood right out. And she was interesting because and she did this with everybody. She started out, she put her arm around you, and you get the picture, and there'd be several pictures taken. And as the pictures are taken, she would begin to throw her arm around your neck
Yeah.
and get right close to you.
He does. He
And
gets. He has some pictures too. Yeah, because her what do you call it? She was one of the few that actually had a guard at her table, and it was not really nice guy, Dominic Fontana, a super nice guy, and we talked to him. When I was looking at him, big dude, and he kept saying about wanting to be in movies, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, Black Tent needs a strong man, and it's not a lot of dialogue either. So I said, okay. I said, well, hey Dom, I said, I mean, it's possible. I could, use you for the picture. I said, I got a strong man. It's a carnival film. I need one. You know, um, how are you? Oh yeah, we talked about it. And he came over to the house here, and he did a read, and it's not a big part, you know. And I mean, it's mostly the physique and the look and everything, anyhow. And I decided to add a scene to give him a little bit of acting in there too, and he was really happy about that. But getting back to her, I was introduced to her personally by Chris Waters. He does the awards for the New Jersey HorrorCon, because when we were thinking about Victoria, again, Anna Falke, which we found out, she's not good with English. At least that's what we hear. I don't know. But he said, buy Lane. I thought, okay. So I met her. I spoke to her. She signed the NDA to read the script, and I didn't hear anything really, but we took pictures together. She did say to me when she was leaving, she said goodbye to me. She hugged me, and she said, I hope we can work together. And I said, yeah, me too. But again, I don't know, 3 years now, something like that. I mean, Black Tent's been. I wrote the first draft for the Black Tent January 2019. I can't tell you how many drafts I've written since then. In fact, right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm already making more adjustments to it. There's things that I've looked at in the last draft that Craig Atkinson did with me where he got off kilter, when he was working on a rewrite. He said some things in there need some buttoning up. I got some ideas. I said, fine, some of them work, some of them don't, and he's one of these guys that's very hooked on his ideas. He thinks everything's great. It's not nothing personal. I grew up with Craig. That's Craig. It's nothing personal. That's Craig. Okay. Known him since 1977. Okay. But you've got to understand the material. And I think he sort of did, but then at times he did not. So when it's your material and you know your characters and you created them and you've created the dynamic and the situation, somebody else comes along and completely does some crazy things in there, which are crazy to you. And you look at it and you're like, Monster wouldn't do that. Nope. The monster's not going to go walking up to somebody's motel room and knocking on the door. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not what a man-eating demon is going to do. It's not going to do that, Craig. Well, yeah, but nothing. It's not a human being. And that's the thing. It's interesting when you're doing this and you're doing collaborate. You start to realize very quickly what happens when it must happen in Hollywood, and why these writers get so pissed off that their movies and their scripts don't turn out so well. And they say, well, I had a script, but it got this massive rewrite and they changed this and that, and people think it sucks. Well, yeah, that wasn't what I had intended. You saw about, I don't know, 50% of what I intended. And the other 50% is somebody else that came along for the money, rewrote my script the way somebody who didn't understand the material wanted it done. And now here you go. You got a movie that's a little bit of a horror movie, a little bit of a drama, and a little bit of a family movie or something. Who knows, So, yeah, and there were some things in there that I think he changed just to get a change in there, like just to have his say, you know what I mean? You got to watch that. Ego's big in this industry. It's big in the world, I think, anymore, but it's really big in the industry. And anybody that's got a couple of bucks, has an ego, a king size ego. Let's just say it that way. You know, and yeah, Craig always had one. Good guy. I'm not talking bad about you, Craig. I love you, but some of the ideas just don't work, and I'm not the only one that sees that. So, yeah, I have to do. Like I said, I have somebody that may be interested in it, developing this picture, which that'd be great. That gets me further along. But if that's the case, he said, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And it's all the stuff I had highlighted. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there going, I know. Yep, I know. I agree. They're like, well, why did you write that? I didn't write it. That was where the difference came in. He was talking about being the development funder, Yeah, but Scott, it changes this and it changes that and it changes that. Yeah, I know. I'm going to put it back. So I'm putting it back right now. Some of the changes will be there, some of them will not. But in the end, I can tell you this: every draft of that script has been better than the previous draft. And even Ivy Dominique, because she's very involved. We're good friends. We're very close. And I sent her every draft, and she said, "Better than the last one. It's better than the last one." Here's your cameo. I knew it was coming. I
Kitty
knew it.
kitty.
She knows. She knows. What this is. This is neglection. This is daughter neglecting. I guess child neglection right here going on. Because I'm spending time talking to you, and I'm not hanging out with her. So yes, this is what I would have to say: child neglection. Believe me, this child is not neglected. This child is not neglected, man. Believe me, anyone watching this, no.
Does she walk up on top of you and stare in your face while you're asleep?
Sometimes, most of the time, she curls up next to me and goes to sleep. She up, up. She's talking. You're getting some. She knows we're talking about her now. She knows we're talking. Are you hearing this? Did you hear the mews? We got two of them now. There's two of them. Yeah, we're talking about you. Hmm? You see him? See? Look. Yeah, my companion. When I'm writing, you know where she is? Right here. When I'm
I
writing,
love my kitty. Yeah.
right here. In the morning, when I'm having the coffee, you want to know where she is? At my feet. What do you call it? If I lay down, where do you think she is? Next to me. All right. If she's not next to me, where do you think she is? I got to watch stepping out of the bed. She's there. Yeah, she's all over. If I'm there, this is my shadow. My shadow, my living shadow, right? Right, precious. Yeah, look, she's looking at you. Say, did you say she's looking at you? Yeah, no, he's in there. Yeah, we've had cats all my life. We've had them all
Oh
the time.
yeah.
We've always had cats, man. When I go to my grandmother's house, she had 10 cats. She had 10 cats when I was growing up at her house. So I'd be home with two. I'd go up to her house for 10. So, yeah. What? What? You got something to say? Here, go ahead, say it. Come on. Come on, you want to talk? She's talking, she's blinking. You know what they say? If they're blinking, they're saying something to you. Does your cat blink at you a lot, Skittles? Does Skittles do a lot of blinking at you?
Skittles is over there asleep.
How old Skittles? How old Skittles?
Oh, he must be 15, 16, 17 right
Oh,
now.
yeah. Now she's only two. Now she's only
Yeah.
two. Now she's only 2 years old. 2 years
Yeah.
old, a couple of months. That's all. Now I've only had her 2 years, and she was really young when I got her. I don't. Yeah, her eyes were not green yet, so she might have been 6 weeks or so. So, yeah, I've had her about 2 years and I guess 2 years and 3 months, maybe. I've had her 3 nah, 2 years and 2 months. So she was probably only about 5 weeks old or so when I got her. So, where are we going? You want to come back up? Hmm?
Your kitty is saying, I want treats.
Got him. I took care of her before. I did that before. That's what took me a while. I was making sure she had all her stuff before
Are
I
you
got on.
kidding
Because
me? You got to do it like several times a day.
normally I'm good until 4. This is neglection. Trust me. This is because I'm here talking to you. If I was not here talking to you, that she would not be here. Trust me, she would not. She would just be perched somewhere. Even if it was on me, she would be perched somewhere. Just so you know, right now she's right in front of me. You can't see her. She's right here. She's right here. All right. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a cameo, I think. There you go. Say it. See the
See the
ears?
ears.
Told you. I told you. I told you. Oh, she's a movie watcher, this one. She watches
Well,
movies.
I hope she doesn't like cats because that was a horrible movie. I hope she doesn't watch The Cat in the Hat.
You know what? I got one for you. So there was this independent film producer we were talking to. Was it 2 years already? Nah, maybe one. It had to be last year before Craig signed off. I forget his name. Anyway, he got in touch with Craig. He was doing a horror movie about cats called Catnip. All right, and
Yeah, yeah, I know all about it.
oh yeah,
I've interviewed the director,
who's the
and
director? I don't even know
I've
who is it.
interviewed Tiffany Helm from. She was in Friday the 13th Part 5. She's been on here twice solo, and once with the collaboration here. And her mom is Brooke Bundy, who was uh, in a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know
So I
those.
had all three of them on. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm familiar with Catnip.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie. It's new, isn't it? I think it's a
It's
brand.
not out yet. It's not out yet, but it's being filmed, and yeah, I had three of them on from that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they had gotten in touch with Craig about getting involved in that one, but he passed. Again, I think development funding. Development funding. Everybody, it's a big deal. You have to get that. I think. So did you see? I didn't know him personally in the independent film world, but that Michael Mahal Empire passed away. Did you see that? Did you
Yeah.
see him? Yeah, he passed. Yeah, I don't. I never. Did you ever have an interview or anything with him? Because I didn't know him. I was on social media with him, and I know he was a very busy, active crowdfunding producer. Um, and then out of the blue, he's dead. So I mean, it's like wow. I think he was younger than us. I don't think he was 53. So
I
and
hope I hope I live a good life.
yes,
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But like I
Yeah.
said, very fun. And you know what I got a kick out of? I think it was a day or two before he was writing. He was excited to be watching Final Destination Part 7 or 8 or whatever number they're up to, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, talk about a movie. It has to be your last movie.
Well, it was Tony Todd's last movie.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it? He's in it and he does not look
No,
good.
I saw the first Final Destination in the theater,
Yep.
and
See?
wasn't a fan of that. And
No,
I've
me either. I
seen
didn't see.
I've seen bits and pieces of the second one, but I find from what I've seen of any of them, it's like the same thing over and over and over.
Hmm.
And I wasn't planning to go see this one, but I'm kind of like, well, if it's his last movie, maybe I'll do that. But I'm kind of, I know what I'm up against with it. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I watched this one because a friend of mine. I didn't see 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Is it what part is this? 8, 10? I don't know.
I don't know.
I saw the first one in the theater like yourself. I know there's 2, 3, 4. I don't know beyond that. I think there's like I don't know. I think this is 7 or 8, one or the other. Whatever number it is, it doesn't matter. But a friend of mine was the over the other night and he had it and he said, "Oh, let's watch it." So we watched it and I noticed Tony Todd was in it, and he looked sick in the movie. He definitely doesn't look good in the film. But then I saw that guy died, and I saw like the day before, 2 days before, he's saying he's going to see this movie, and I'm thinking, Lord, the last movie you're going to see, you know?
Well, I know the second one, you had this big log truck in it. I saw it streaming somewhere, online here, and I caught the second one, but I don't even think I've seen the whole thing of it. But the big thing was a premonition with on the road and a big log truck, and I think the third one takes place at an amusement park or something like that, and I don't know. But I saw the first one in the theater. I saw probably, I don't know, 50% of the second one. Enough that I could probably tell you what it's
You
all
see this?
about. But
You see this? You see
yeah,
this? Yeah. When she came around, she's poked me 3, 4 times with her paw. You know what she's trying to tell me, right?
yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to tell me we're done. Like another nurse.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this one here's something. She has a real personality here. You can't see her right now, but I trust me, she's right.
Oh, I saw her.
Yeah, what? She just poked me again. Yeah, she's going like this with her paw.
Hmm.
When she does that, she's trying to tell me that's enough. Let's go. That's what she's. I'm just letting you
You
know.
you got to have cuddle times with your kitty.
I know. I did. She gets it all the time. Trust me when I tell you. But I think she probably wants it pretty soon. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what else did you want to talk about before we adjourn?
I think that's about it. I was happy to have you on. You're always a
Yeah,
good
glad to be. But good,
interview.
always good to see you. Always
Yeah.
good to see you and talk with you. I mean, you can. I try to keep up with you. I send you texts. I sent you. I think I sent you clips of the interviews that they
Hmm.
did with me last year. I did
Hmm.
that one. What happened was they were closing Gillian's Wonderland Pier down. It's gone. Well, it's not gone, but they're not open anymore. And I was taking a tour through the haunted house, and we were getting ready to go to the film festivals, and they wanted to interview me. And they said, "The best place to do it is in this haunted house because you do horror movies." So we sat me down in a ride car, and I was asked questions. And we started with me talking about the pier and how I felt about that. They would use that, and then they had me talk about influences, which I talked about Tim Burton and John Carpenter. And I think Tim Burton, we had to split it because apparently there's a it's the segments being less than 5 minutes apiece is better than them being 10.5 minutes. So they were cut into two segments. So I think everybody saw segment one. I've got to get segment
Well, you
two
know
out.
what? This is not being cut into segments.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know, I don't deal with that shit with the TikTok audience. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck it. If they can't listen to it, don't listen to it. This is for people that are interested and want to hear it. And then most times, if somebody can't finish something, they can pick up on it later. Because a lot of times I go back to a video and it goes right where I left off.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I go in and I listen up to a point and I'm like, okay, I'll remember on this spot right here, like the hour mark or 30-minute mark or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with the attention spans of people, so yeah. This interview will be as long as it is, and
Sure. Yeah.
there's going to be people that listen to the whole thing. If somebody's on a road trip or going back and forth from work or got to do a trip and long haul in a truck or something, they can listen to this stuff. So,
Yeah. Because I think I'm next on Rachel Ann Roberts again. She's had me twice, and I think I'm due to be on with her in like I think two weeks. I have to get a reminder for it's in June, but I know it's early in June, so
yeah,
it's come up. So you and she had me on 3 times, three in a row.
there you go. Well, I'll put you on the roster for next year too, and
There you go.
we'll
There
do,
you
we'll
go.
do it again.
If
You're
there's
always
any
good.
updates, if there's any updates or whatever, I'll send you a text or whatever about
Sure,
what's going on. So if something turns around or whatever, I'll let you know. Hey, I got information. If you want to bring me on sooner, we'll do it. If not, next year we'll check in.
sure. Yep. And as of right now, you got to check in with your kitty because I see him behind you. I see her behind you.
Her, her. It's a she. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now she's
yeah,
she's tapping me.
yeah,
Now she's
yeah. You
pushing her
gotta.
weight on me. She's pushing her weight on me. Yeah, I could feel
She
all
wants to
seven.
watch cat people.
Yeah, she wants to get me to get out of this chair is what she was telling me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I already know. 2 years, I know the drill. I know the drill. When it's every day for 2 years, you get used to it. You know what's going on.
there you go. Well, Scott, I wish you the best
Thank you, and
with
to
your
you.
films, and yeah, keep me updated, and always cuddle with your kitty. It's
No,
good for the
always,
soul.
absolutely.
Yeah, and God bless you, and
God bless you too.
yes, absolutely, and you never know. You might find you might find the late actor and his wife in the black tent out back.
I know, right? Well, what do you call it? It'll either be that or the Vampire Project, one or the other. Hopefully it'll be one of them. They're
There
both in
you
development, so we'll see what happens.
there you go. Well, you have yourself a great day, and yeah, you better get to the kitty because I can see he's behind you.
See? See?
Yeah, yeah. You gotta. She looks like she's impatient.
She is. Look, it looks like a Siamese twin growing out of my back. In
It's like
horror.
basket case.
Yeah, remember that? And some of those
Yep.
Tales from the Crypt. Remember the one with Michael Lernan, and he's the ice cream guy, and Bill Paxton goes and he thinks he kills him. Then the next day, the guy
I,
comes back and he's going to kill him. And then he says, "You didn't kill me. You killed my brother." And he turns him around. There's the corpse right behind him. They were identical twins. They were like Siamese. You know.
there you go. Well, Scott, I bid you a great day, and
You know.
yes, enjoy your time with your kitty kitty.
Will do, Greg. Take care, man.
God bless.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye bye.